Ladies and gentlemen, I never thought this day would come, and yet here we are. Linkin Park has dropped a new album. It's called From Zero. There's a total of 11 tracks on it, all of which are pretty good, honestly. The one I just played you, From Zero, is the opening track to the album. I don't think it's necessarily meant to be taken seriously because it says intro in its title, and it's only like 20 seconds long. So yeah, we're just gonna ignore that because I don't feel like it should be judged as if it's an actual song. But yeah, today I'll be individually going over every single one of the songs on this album and giving my thoughts and critiques on it. Of course, I really like this album, so it's gonna be a lot more praising than critiquing, but I don't know, we'll see. I guess let's just get straight into this. Alright, Emptiness Machine, the first song on the album, and also the first song that they performed as a group. I was actually watching that show live on my TV when it all happened. Man, there's something so exciting about that part where Emily just comes in and sings the whole going around like a revolver part. The way she gets a slight vibrato on that last part of that line, it sounds so cool. It really does. But yeah, I'd say this song is pretty good. I've heard a lot of people say it doesn't sound like Linkin Park, and that's why they don't like it. And I think that's a really dumb and brain-dead thing to say, because you're really only referring to Meteora and Hybrid Theory when you say that, because this does definitely sound like something they do in their later years. Either way, to come back from a 7-year hiatus and make something this good, it's truly great. I would have chosen one of the more old Linkin Parky sounding songs, like Two-Faced or something as their first song, but then again, it could depend on when they wrote it. Either way, yeah, really good song. The next song on the album is called Cut the Bridge. It didn't really stand out to me as being particularly good. I mean, it's certainly not bad either, but I just didn't listen to it and think, wow, this is a special song. It's a pretty average song. It's not bad at all, but I wouldn't say it's that good either. It's just, it's average. It's more of a filler track, I guess you can say. Now for the third song, Heavy as the Crown. Words cannot describe how incredible this song is. It's truly a once-in-a-generation banger, and I don't think we're ever gonna get something this good again. So yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like, I can't describe this. It's too good to put into words. From the cool futuristic synths in the beginning to the 15-second long scream during the breakdown. This song's absolutely perfect. Everything about it is incredible. It's easily the best song on this album, and possibly the best song that Linkin Park has ever made. Honestly, when I first heard this song, I was kind of disappointed. Compared to Heavy as the Crown and Emptiness Machine, this just... It felt like it didn't quite compare, though I've been a bit more, I've grown to like it, basically. You know, I can always enjoy a good ballad, and yeah, the more times I listen to this song, the more I like it, but I'd still unfortunately say that it's my least favorite song on this album. I just remember listening to it for the first time and being like, this sounds like Paramore if Paramore sucked less. But I don't know, that's just me. Overall, I'd say it's still a decent song, but compared to the other stuff on this album, it feels notably less good than the rest. And I'm trying to say that in as less of a mean way as possible, because honestly, I still think it's a really good song. I just think it's one of the leastest goods songs on this album. I don't know, I really can't stress enough, I don't think this song is bad, I just think that compared to the other stuff on this album, it's not as good. This is probably my favorite song on the album, though I feel like that's more so rooted in a place of personal opinion and less of objective goodness. Because you know me, I like heavier music like this, and I feel like a lot of legacy Linkin Park fans would listen to this and be like, what the heck is this screamy deathcore madness? I hate this. But me personally, I absolutely love Screamy Pants Emily, and I think it's something we need to see more of. Heck, even Mike was screaming during this song. So yeah, and even the breakdown of this song is really cool because Emily feels like she's on the verge of a mental breakdown, just like tearing up throughout the lines. Really good song. Probably my second favorite, though I won't objectively say that it's the second best song on this album. I still think Heavy as the Crown beats this, but this is a pretty darn good song. Man, where do I even start with this song? This is such a trippy song. It makes me feel like I've had way more melatonin than I'm supposed to. This song feels like something straight out of my fever dreams. It just makes you feel like you're not on Earth anymore. I don't mean that in a good way, but I don't mean that in a bad way either. Like, you listen to this song and you're just, I'm not on Earth anymore. Where the heck is this? But yeah, I'd say it's a good song. It's an interesting song. It's a weird song, and I like it. We're all weird here. There's not much I can say about this song that hasn't already been said. It's basically One Step Closer Part 2. But it's still a really good song, and you can tell that they're having so much fun in the music video, and it's kind of wholesome to watch, you know? But yeah, really good song. Doesn't stand out as being like one of the best, but it's still really good. It's definitely up there. This sounds like a generic 2014 electric pop song, and I can't decide if I like it or not. I don't know, it feels like the type of song you'd hear playing at a Chuck E. Cheese when you went to go celebrate your 6-year-old cousin's birthday. Those are the sort of vibes I get from this song. It's okay. Now, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce the name of this song, but that's not important. It's like heavy metal, but it's at a slower tempo, which I find interesting. It's a bit of a contrast from the other songs on the album, and I think this makes it kind of unique. But I can't do this on my own. You could save me from my lack of self-control. Sometimes bad things take the place where good things go. This is probably either the third or the second best song on this album. I absolutely love it, and I'm glad that they chose this song to be the last song on the album, because there are so many good things about it, whether it be the wicked high notes that Emily hits in the chorus, or the amazing lyrics. I don't know, I feel like they could have made this instrumental more, like, angsty and intense and big, but I'm happy with the way it turned out, and I think this is a really amazing song. I'd like to divert your attention to this one specific lyric in the chorus that is, "It's hard to laugh when I'm the joke." That's probably my new favorite Linkin Park lyric. I absolutely love that. Everything about it. And, you know, being generally the funny person in the friend group that doesn't take anything seriously, when I do try to be real with people, they normally don't take me seriously and just assume it's a joke. Like, you know, back when I started releasing my own music that was meant to be all serious and moody, and stuff. There was this one guy that just kept telling me, like, just assuming that I didn't take my music seriously when I did, and I don't know, I guess he always talked about this like it was an inside joke we both participated in. He'd be like, "Oh, this sounds like your music," and I was just sitting there so pissed at him. And I that's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. I was thinking to myself, like, how do you expect me to laugh at this? I'm the joke here. This is it's deprecating towards me. How do you expect me to just agree with this and be like, "Ah, yes, this work I poured my heart into is just bad and should be laughed about?" Because that's not true at all. Of course, we've moved past that, but I still get a little angry every time I think about that. But yeah, that's why and it's not the only time I've had stuff like that happen in friend groups. It's one of the tolls you pay being the funny person. People don't take you seriously when you try to be real. And, I'm used to it to an extent, but I have those moments. And I don't think it means I'm depressed or suicidal or anything. It's just I'm human and I struggle sometimes. And I feel like that's perfectly normal. And Linkin Park is one of the many ways I help myself get through that. So anyway, in conclusion, I'd still say Heavy as the Crown is probably the best song on this album. Casualty is second. Good Things Go is third. And I don't really have anything specific choosed out after that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this album. Linkin Park helped me through a lot of really hard times in my life, specifically my 7th grade year. That really was a rough year for me. I don't know. I hear that's just how junior high is for everyone, but man, that year was tough. And, I was a good kid, so no one really took me seriously when I was like, I do not feel happy at all. So they were all like, oh no, you're doing perfectly fine in your classes. Everybody likes you. It's like, yeah, but I still really don't like my life. Of course, I'm all speaking in past tense. I don't feel that way now at all. Like, of course, I have moments of sadness every now and then. Not every day is perfect, but I've certainly gotten a lot better since 7th grade. 7th grade was a really rough time for me, and I wish I could have just gone back in time and told my just broken and lost 7th grade self, hey, Linkin Park's gonna drop a new album in 2 years. You should really stick around for that. Because, man, the ways Linkin Park helped me are just insane. It felt like, so long of just not being taken seriously, because from everybody else's perspective, I was a perfectly fine person. And just hearing Linkin Park and seeing these lyrics and being like, I finally feel understood and advocated on behalf of. So, yeah, and I think we can all say that Linkin, I mean, if you are here and you have watched this far in the video, there's a good chance that Linkin Park has helped you throughout your life one way or another. And it's possible you only really enjoy it because of the music, but I still think to this day that the lyrics were a big part of why Linkin Park was so successful. And I'm really glad to see them making a comeback and being so happy about it and just making really good music. So yeah, I'm really glad Chester committing suicide was a real tragedy. I was not really old enough to care about metal music at the time, but man, Linkin Park will never be the same without Chester. I don't think it takes a genius to say that, but that does not mean Emily is bad at all. She's a human. She's just like us. She has the same struggles as us. She's able to write similar lyrics, maybe not quite as good as Chester, but still, it's not like she's some evil corporate AI agenda thing that just pumps out lyrics that sort of mimic what Chester did. Like, this stuff is real, and they've said in interviews, like, we want our music to relate to us and feel real. We want to listen to this stuff and think, like, oh yes, I relate to this. This feels like my song. This is something I relate to. Anyway, I didn't script any of this. I just sort of went straight from the heart. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. Maybe, I don't know, when's the next time an album will release that I can do a review of? I don't know. Might not have been the most professional thing you were hoping for, but I don't know. I guess opinion from the masses is sometimes important, Alright, goodbye.